Hello, my name is Alma, and we are going to talk about everything maidenhood, matrescence, and motherhood. Welcome to Nurture of Life. I am a mother of two. I am a researcher at heart, an avid reader, and I've been on a quest about a lot of deep questions that women have since 2020 when I became a mother for the first time. I'll be using my phone to share some notes if I do not remember everything that I want to share with you today. I was born and raised in Albania, and Albania used to be a communist country. So my mom was born and raised in communism and was formed in that system. So when I became pregnant for the first time, I realized I do not know anything. So I started to attend classes and a lot of other resources to learn as much as I could. So the first pregnancy, I didn't know. So I used everything that was presented to me or was told that was the right way to do it. And so I believed others more than I believed myself. And that is something that I want to teach and guide and help you. And I have 10 guidelines on that for you, and we'll share. This is the first podcast that I want to share more of my story and who I am and what I've been doing and what I could offer you to have a fabulous experience in your transition from maidenhood to your first pregnancy to matrescence and to motherhood. So the Nurture of Life is a space that I created with a lot of love right after I had my first child. We first hold the mother tight. She is the nurturer of life, which is her new baby. We help her transition smoothly from maidenhood to matrescence to motherhood by providing ancient wisdom. We guide her to see her divine nature clearly and to connect with it. And by doing this, we help her prevent anything that threatens her and her baby's well-being from the very beginning. Well, let's start. So here's my story. I decided to become a mother at age 30. And when I realized that I didn't know much, I thought, it has to do because of my background, coming from a country that people and women and no one had any rights or any freedom to learn and explore and get to know themselves and seek knowledge and have knowledge from within out and do whatever they wanted. So I thought, okay, that's just me. But the more I would talk to other women in this 5 years, I've realized that I'm not alone, and there are so many of you that have so many questions. And some of you are more daring to ask them, and some keep them inside. But I'm here to talk openly to you and share a lot with you. And eventually we'll have also a lot of other people that I will invite that are professionals in their own fields of hormones and spirituality and physical health and mental health and emotional health, financial well-being as well, which is very important, and we'll talk about that as well. So when I decided to become pregnant, I realized I didn't know much, but I got myself into a class at 8 weeks pregnant, and I was in a class till I had my son, actually. Different classes, but there was a class that I would be in to learn different things. And I realized, looking back, that the culture and the medical system, it's so focused on the baby, and that is a wonderful thing. But when that baby comes out of you, the only thing that baby cares about is your well-being, your state of being, and a great sense of your true identity. That baby does not care about anything else. So then at around when my son, my firstborn is a boy, when he was about maybe 10, 11 months, it clicked. It was like a light bulb. And I was like, I need to find all these answers to these questions that I and many women have, because this kid doesn't care about what parenting method I choose or what technique or skill I learned today if my inner world is not aligned, is not clear, is not confident, is not empowered, is not enlightened, is not awakened. is not functioning to the optimal state of being. So my journey started then, and I've gone on rabbit holes that I'll share with you eventually in every podcast. So I had my son. I decided to have my son based in a hospital based on fear and anxiety of that idea that a first-time mom, you never know what's going to go on, and I thought I had an amazing midwife, which she was, very professional and amazing, and the hospital was amazing, and I did a little bit of labor in the water and then a little bit out. But we realized that my body wasn't dilating very easily. So that was a hint that there could be some stored trauma or fears or anxiety in my reproductive area. And I've done a lot of research on how the body keeps score, and we will talk about that book and that resource in the future as well. So I learned a lot, and I did a lot of research, and I used a lot of resources. I'll mention one of them today, somatic therapy, and yoga and movement, etc., visualization, connection with the body and how the body works, and trying to become one with it. But during this experience, I trusted my team more. I trusted their decisions more, and I ended up having. I lost a lot of blood. I fainted. And looking back, at that time, I didn't feel like it was a traumatic experience, but looking back, those are traumas to the body. So as I searched more and more, I realized that a decently healthy woman can and is designed to have a wonderful natural birth. And that took me to a different direction with my second pregnancy and my second birth. So the age difference between my first and my second, it's 3 years. During that 3 years, I did a lot of emotional healing, a lot of inner work. And I realized that the most powerful thing we can do is to always go inward. That's the most amazing journey that any of us can take in their personal life. So I did just that. And I learned a lot about myself. I learned that I had a mother wound, and I needed to take care of that. And I did, and I found a lot of resources. One of them was with my second birth, I decided that I'm going to focus on spirituality. Why did I decide that? From research, I found out that ancient women, the successful ones, they focused on spirituality more than anything else. They had prayers to invite help from above. They had community of women. They had resources, spiritual resources, aromatherapy resources, herbs, nutritious food, and we will cover all of those. But those are some of the tools that I used to do things differently the second time around. So I bought, and shout out to Christian Hypnobirthing here. They're not sponsoring anything, but I love them. So I bought the app, and I said, I'm going to make spirituality the cornerstone of my second pregnancy, birth, and postpartum. And that's where everything changed for the better. And I want you to know today that the top kept secret is just that. When you connect to spirituality of whatever that is for you, you will connect to powers that are innate to you, are natural to you, existed in you before your own physical birth, and they are there for you to connect with, work with, be one with. So that's exactly what I did. And what I choose as my spirituality is praying and directing those prayers to Heavenly Father, seeking His help to connect and know Heavenly Mother and to use the power of my Savior, Jesus Christ, and His atonement. This could be a blueprint for you to use your own source of higher power and spirituality. But that's exactly what ancient women did. And they invited help from above, from their ancestors and from angels. And then the second thing they did, they made sure that their diet was rich in nutrition. Make sure that the soil where your produce comes from is rich in nutrition. Eat as clean as you possibly can. The Christian hypnobirthing also had an app, and the app had a lot of meditations, and I am developing my own meditations as well. But some of the meditations I used second time around were that of my own powerful body that is made of high intelligence, that knows what to do, does it exactly the perfect way. And I learned that trusting my body and being one with my body and working with my body was the turning point of second time around. And this is what Nurturer of Life offers you. Last time pregnancy and birth, first time around. So that worked miracles, and breath work was a tool and a skill, and that's something that I offer to you and in my services as well. Breath work. Breath work is a way of connecting to not only your highest self, but to the highest intelligence of your own body. Because your own body is intelligence, breath work helps you truly connect to that and opens this channel of relational dynamic and alignment between your body and you. Now, when you do all these things, no matter where you decide to give birth, hospital, home, nature, birth centers, it literally doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because you are absolutely aligned with yourself, and you can guide yourself and direct yourself. You can trust yourself more than you trust your staff or the place or the system that you chose to give birth. And you direct even your staff, and you are the voice of how you want things to be. So the other thing that I did was get to know myself from birth, from my own infancy up to the point I was. What have I stored emotionally, physically in my body, in my tissues, in my muscles, in different parts of my body, as values or as beliefs or as perspectives and perceptions. And I wanted to, you can call it a cleansing or detoxing of all the emotions that do not serve. Dr. Jordan Peterson, which I attend his college right now, Peterson Academy. I'm not sponsored, but I love them, and I've learned so much. He shares in one of his classes, Sermon on the Mountain, that it is very important to work the path, the righteous path. Why does this matter for women that are planning to get pregnant for the first time and have their first baby? Well, I found out from my own experience that when I detected bitterness or resentment or negative thinking or inner speech within myself, that was like a contamination, and that produced only fear and anxiety and confusion and self-doubt and self-sabotaging. And those are things that you do not want to carry or govern yourself or operate from, especially during birth and post-birth. because it will make it so difficult, will create so much unnecessary suffering for you and the baby. So I offer services on learning how to do this cleansing and this detoxing from bitterness, resentment, and negativity, which could be in your thoughts, in your perceptions, in your belief systems, in your value systems, in perspectives, within your own psyche and your own being. As I was doing this throughout the years, and this journey started when I was 13. When I was 13 and a half, I went to a therapist for the first time. And since then, I've loved therapy because I love talking, and it's a way that I process. I want you to also know how you process everything within yourself, and find that path and invest on that path and cultivate that process, because it will serve you for the best. Okay, so I've learned in secular ways, with the help of different professionals. I've learned through different techniques of therapy, somatic therapy, and IFS, internal family systems, which is amazing. I've worked on inner loving parent to take care of the wounds that were formed within me based on experiences of my formative years. As I did all of this, I came to a point that I was like, wow, this is amazing, but just doesn't cut it for me. And that's when I realized that it is very important to connect to your true identity. After my second child is a girl, after my daughter's little celebration of her blessing day, the next day I had a very profound experience. I was in the room playing with my kids, and suddenly I felt this overwhelming feeling of loneliness and sadness and just pure darkness. And I needed to really let myself feel this. So I didn't get upset, or I didn't get scared, and I said, I'm going to allow myself to feel this. I'm going to sit with this. I'm going to let this run through it, and I'm going to learn from this. So I said, talk to me, show me. So I gave my son a little show, and I put my daughter down for a nap, and I laid in bed, and I said, okay. And I closed my eyes, and I felt it. I felt this big, deep well that I was just free falling, and I got so scared, and I didn't know the end of it. And I was trying to stop myself from feeling it and from letting this experience take over, because it felt so overwhelming. But then I heard this voice: let it be, let yourself fall, get to the bottom of it, because that's where you will meet me. And I was like, whoa, is that maybe God? What is it? And it became clear as I continued research after this experience that was the Divine Mother in heaven. And in Genesis 1:27, it does say that God created us in His own image, male and female. So I was like, wow, I have a Heavenly Mother. And to go back a little bit in the story, when I had my first child and I realized I'm struggling with this mother wound, and I was experiencing a lot of grief and a lot of sadness from loss from my own childhood, I did a lot of research, and there was a therapist, Kelly McDaniels. I hope I remember her name well, correct. She had announced that we could pre-order her book called Mother Wound. So I did, and I bought that book, and when I read it, I was like, that's exactly what I'm going through. And in the medical field, the doctors were saying, oh, you're experiencing some symptoms of depression and anxiety. But I knew the source of my own pain. So I said, okay, I'm going to go the holistic way. And the holistic way for me personally is books, great books. How do I get those great books? I get them through paying attention to my own inner needs, my deep unmet needs, and I seek those books. I seek them and I read about them, and the best book that speaks and resonates the deepest with me, I purchase and I read it. And I'm the person that, I'm old school, I love to read hard copies, so that works for me. And when we work together through my services, we can find out what works best for you. So I found that book and I read that book. So fast forward on my second birth, and after this experience free falling in this dark well of loneliness and isolation and sadness, realizing that this loneliness is something that I experienced from my own infancy, my formative years, teenagehood, adulthood, young adulthood, So it wasn't just around me. I had my beautiful husband that loves me and supports me, and my kids. So I am filled with love around me. So I decided to invest on getting to know her. And the more I invest in getting to know her, the more resources would be coming to me. And I felt like she was revealing herself to me and giving me more knowledge about her. And the more I connected with her, the more I built a personal relationship with her, the more joy I experienced, the more clarity, the more peace, the more empowerment, awakened self I experienced. And I realized that as this was taking place, the state of that I was operating in my day-to-day life, taking care of my kids and my marriage and other things that I am excited about and passionate about, were happening so smoothly. So the transition with my second child was smooth and was filled with more joy, with more clarity. My body after the second birth was fully natural, was in water with an amazing new midwife, which I hope to interview her in this podcast eventually. And I want her to share with you all the knowledge that she shared with me, which was like, I enter a whole new universe of knowledge that I never knew existed. So it was amazing. Something that I did not experience with the midwife that was trained to work only in hospitals. So with all this wisdom that was being poured in me, I realized that there is a way to transition smoothly and joyfully from maiden to matrescence to motherhood. For those that have never heard the term matrescence is basically like adolescence. Women go through the puberty, men go too, but we are talking only about women here and their puberty. So in adolescence, we all experience shifts in biology, psychology, our emotions, our bodies, our physiology. So it's the same thing that happens in matrescence. And I personally, when I discovered that, I realized that it is more powerful to know about matrescence and know how natural this is than to have ourselves be put under the umbrella of depression and anxiety. Because I'm not saying that that's wrong, and that is very necessary for many, but if we start here and believe such truth, I think we can eradicate postpartum depression or depression and anxiety as a whole, because then this will come as a result of truly connecting to our truest identity and knowing ourselves as we know her as well, Heavenly Mother, or Lady Wisdom, or you can call her however you want to call her. She has a lot of names. Coming closer to the closing remarks, I want to share with you some guidelines that helped me, and I know will help you. And those are guidelines that I follow and I offer in my services. But you will find them in my website, Nurturer of Life. So there are 10 of them, and I'll read them. Choose to believe that your worth is 100% 24/7. Choose to believe that your core is complete and untouched by the traumas of life. We can work on peeling those layers of trauma so you can connect to the true core of you, which existed and then was born and got an earthly body. And this earthly body had the experiences that it has had and has stored and internalized some messages or some beliefs or some values that might not be serving you. And as we learn to release them and have them melt away from our system, you will set yourself up for a wonderful first birth, for a wonderful transition into post-birth. Choose to believe that your body is intelligence. Be one with it, trust it fully, and listen to it carefully. That should be the top priority for you, no matter how and where you decide to give birth. Choose to believe that birth is a spiritual and sacred experience. I hear this a lot, and I was one of this women. A lot of women say, "Wow, it was surreal. It was wild. It was primal. It was sacred. It felt like portals were open." And it is as such. And some women also say it's like the best kept secret that we are goddess, we create. And we do create. We build these human beings inside of us, but it's not a job that we do it just by ourselves. Our bodies are intelligence. They are made of this intelligent energy. And there is a creator that created such intelligent bodies. The heart knows what to do, does it every day. So that's how the body works for birth as well. We just need to get to know how it works and believe it and choose to be one with it, trust it. Your body is not your enemy. Your body is your best friend. See it as such and connect with it, and you'll have an amazing experience. 5, choose to believe that the first birth will open the channels of direct connection and bonding to your divine mother in heaven. 6, choose to get to know her by building a personal relationship and bond with her. 7, choose to believe that her identity is your truest identity as well. It's your original state, your core, your essence. 8, choose now to make this your strongest sense of self. This is your original self, and operate from it in your day-to-day life. 9, okay, here it is. Choose to operate from your original state and self in your day-to-day life. 10, choose to go within and upward continuously. This, I mentioned this earlier, this last one, it's very, very important. And the way this starts is by always choosing to have the best journey inward, always. That will give you inner self-validation, that will give you divine validation, that will give you guidance and instructions that are personal and specific to you, that will empower you, that will give you joy, clarity, inner alignment, inner flow. And all this will be such a powerful and amazing energy that then those that you love the most will feed from it. And you are the universe to that new baby, to that new child. you are the nervous system to that new child. His nervous system, her nervous system will build based on yours. And not just that, but you matter. You are precious. Your energy matters. Your inner state matters. Your environment and ecosystem matters because you live in it every day. And I want you to live in an inner system that is pure joy, pure excitement, pure happiness. And I'm not saying that there are not bad days and bad moments, and there are, and there will be. And those are opportunities for more growth, for more sacred knowledge and information and empowerment from above, as long as we choose to be taught and to be guided and to be instructed by whatever power is that you call spirituality. Ancient women, especially Egyptian women, you can Google this. One of the things that they did, they prayed, establishing and cultivating a practice of prayer, a ritual of prayer, to whatever shape and form speaks to you and works for you. It is crucial. And these are some of the things that I learned that are extremely important to help you to transition smoothly and joyfully from maidenhood to matrescence to motherhood. Welcome to Nurturer of Life. You are powerful. You are incredible. You are made of powerful material, energy, and intelligence. I invite you to believe in such truths and to operate from such state day in and day out. It will benefit you. It will benefit your child. Mother and child, especially right after birth. Because when the baby is inside of you, you are already a dyad. You are one. When the baby comes out, they call it the fourth trimester. And it is as such. It's so sacred. And that baby wants only to be on top of you. That baby knows who you are. That baby wants only your touch. And you might feel overwhelmed why the baby doesn't want anyone else. And it is overwhelming and it is tiring. And I hope and wish and pray that you have the best support system of women and men around you that can help and hold the baby so you can have some time to shower or eat or rest. But that baby prefers you. And when that baby prefers you, you will realize how important you are, how crucial you are. But that knowledge is not only true for the baby, it is true for yourself. You're crucial to your own self. You are important to your own self. You matter. Your energy, your own inner environment matters for you, to you as well. So I welcome you to visit my website, Nurturer of Life. There you will see my resources. You'll read a lot about what I have learned and how I could be of help to you. This is an educational channel and podcast and website. I'm not here to replace any professional intervention or advice. Please advise with your own provider before you use any of my services. And this is a space, and these resources are here to offer you the best possible tools, skills, knowledge, and wisdom so you can thrive, you can experience just sparkles and because it does feel like sparks when all of this connect and make sense to you or click in your mind and in your heart. That's how it feels to me. So I hope you take a chance on yourself take a chance on the services and all the resources that I offer there. And I will see you on the other side of my website or my Instagram as well, Nurture of Life. Take care. Till next time. Bye-bye.